Once upon a time, in a world not unlike our own, there were 3 princes: the wealthy prince, the strong prince, and the humble prince. Each of these strangers were very different, but they all had one thing in common. They all were in love with a beautiful princess from their land. Every day they'd look through their magic mirror to see her, and though they didn't know each other, they all had the same goal in mind: to make her queen. But that task was close to impossible. You see, there were many who would comment from far and wide that this particular princess was the fairest in the land. So for one of these 3 to rise above the crowd and take her hand, they knew they had to make themselves seem just as special as she was. But first, they had to get her attention. The wealthy prince thought that he could buy the princess's eye. He knew that flaunting castles, carriages, riches, and faraway lands could possibly attract her. So he told his magic mirror to make him look even wealthier than he was, hoping that she'd catch a glimpse and become his queen. The strong prince, he was a warrior. He came from a rugged land that he loved, that he fought for, and from it he built a small kingdom that no enemy could oppose. He knew that if the princess became his queen, then every new land he conquered would be shared with her. And lastly, the humble prince. No giant castles, adoring crowds, or war stories. He didn't have a standout following or stature, but he did have something that the other princes could only dream of: magic. True magic. See, the magic mirrors that everybody owned, they weren't really magic at all. They were really a lie, only showing desperate souls the things they think they need. Fake fairy tale happily ever afters, illusions that would trap you if you looked long enough. But the humble prince was different. He knew that true magic happened outside of the mirror's eye. True magic isn't desperate, doesn't care what people think. And if that type of magic existed between he and the princess, nothing in their world could break that spell. But first, he'd have to talk to her. And what none of our princes knew was that this was no ordinary land, and she was no ordinary princess. The age of knights in shining armor sweeping damsels off their feet was far gone. To her, it seemed like a myth. There was a time when she believed that type of story, but the ending always turned tragic. Instead of sweeping her away, past princes swept trust. They built a tower out of their lies and locked her peace away in it. And now, she's on her own mission to rescue herself. No need for a hero. Not every man is a prince, and not every princess wants to be saved. But our 3 didn't know that. And the mirror's hypnotizing curse continues to convince her to want things she doesn't need, pretending to heal her scars while pouring salt in them. She sees 3 new reflections pop up. The strong prince, who can conquer lands, people, and castles, but seemingly can't conquer his own demons. The wealthy prince, who made a deal with the mirror to give him the look of someone with all the riches in the world. And the humble prince, who only hopes for true magic. If she had a fairy godmother, it would say to stay away. She made a promise to be left alone, but the hungry mirror tests her, haunts her, eats her mind away. In a perfect world, the humble prince would meet her. The magic would be there, and though he wouldn't save her day, she could maybe find what she was missing with the help of another. Or maybe the mirror could stop lying, and the spell over the rich prince would break, allowing him to fall in love with reality. Or her wish of being left out of the opinions of princes who just want a pretty queen could come true. Her cracked crown could sparkle without any of them, and the moat she dug around her heart would fill back up with peace. But none of these were the case. The rich prince scammed her as she played him. The humble prince never spoke a word to her, because this ain't no fairy tale. life gets more complicated in the real world.